record this in case anyone misses a few minutes.
Yes.
I was hoping that
Data
everybody,
science, how?
could make it for today's meeting. It wasn't going to be very long, but since your assignment is due, specifically your methodology. So a few tips. I think most of you understand what it is that's needed to be done. However, this is what I'm looking for. Now, you've all worked as a team. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to post this video up in case you want to remind yourself on what it is that I would like to see. So you've worked as a team, so you will submit one document per team. It is essentially a record of how you have done your searches. And so, but it's a very systematic record. So what each document needs to have is it needs to have a table of contents at first. And the way you will organize your table of content is you will have date, activity, results. So results would be the page number or whatever page it is on your documents. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Or you can have page number at first, and then you can get rid of this. So what happens is, so for example, let's say we started, I don't know, January 21st, and whatever your activity was, and so on, you go on date-wise till your search. Now, you already done all the work, so it's not like you have to really, you just have to have it organized. So that's the table of contents, very important. And of course, the next thing you will do is you will describe each of the activities that you did. So for example, one day might be training to use databases. So that would be, this would be on, so this would be the title of the page, and it would also be the activity that you'd write it under activity. And when you go to the page, whatever page it is, page 4, page 5, you'd go ahead and say training to use databases. And then you would just have a one-line description of the activity. So activity, and it's a, today we met Dr. Gerolami, and we were trained on using AgeLine. This is just an example. Okay, so whatever your database is, you'd go ahead and record that. And then, so this would be a single line description. You can go into details, and you can mention a few things. It can be in bullet point. It does not have to be, go with bullet points. And for example, your bullet points might be organizing search terms, creating a concept map, okay, so and it, you know, I'm just printing it with my pencil, but you'd actually type it out on your Microsoft Word document or Google Doc or whatever it is that you use. Don't use Pages. I can't access Pages. So if you have a Mac and you want to use Pages, save it as an MS Word document. And then finally, you should have results. If you're doing a training exercise, you're not going to have results. So you might have something simple as practiced how to use search terms and how to create a concept map. Okay. Now you could have different things. So your activity could be different. So your activity could be you and your partner got together and you decided you wanted to create a concept map. Now, the good thing is you already have your concept map, okay? So you can just plug the same picture here. You just briefly describe as to what was the logic in creating the concept map that you created. And that's pretty much it. The result is you have your concept map. So it would be very simple description. So these are all 2 or 3 sentences. You're not writing very, very much, okay? The interesting stuff, the stuff that I really want more information on is the actual searches. So if the activity or the title is searching the database, and you can have many pages with this title because you've all done many searches. So your activity here would be the following terms were used to search. And this is an example. You would have done your own searches, so you know what you used. So you can go ahead and say, okay, so let's pretend that this is what you had for a search term. And then the details would simply be that we entered the terms as described in the title, and we had the terms entered as described. Now the language does not have to be exactly the same, but essentially you're telling me what you did in a systematic manner. And for results, all you would do here is you'd simply copy and paste your search results. So basically the idea is for every combination of terms that you've used to search, I know what results you got. And when I plug in those same search terms, I should pretty much get what you got. Okay, and there's a reason we do this. It's basically having a paper trail and accountability factor to the project that we're doing. Okay, and again, you've already done all of this work. This is just about making it systematic. Now, it is possible that on a particular date you spent 4 hours and you finished all your searches, and that's fine. Keep each search on a separate page and the search results down there, so I know what you searched for and what you got for a result. Okay, so you searched, and this is how you'd account for your searching. And then finally, Artika, go ahead.
By search result, do you mean the name of the articles that we found?
Yeah, you'll have a list. So I'm just going to share. Let me share a different screen. Yeah. So let me tell you what I'm exactly looking for. 1 second. Okay. So you all can see my screen now. I'm just going to go to the search screen that I use. So NCBI. So I used PubMed. That's what I was going to search. So let's go to PubMed. PubMed. So oops. So let's pretend these are my 3 search terms, and I got 20 results. So what I would basically what I'm asking you to do is you can pretty much copy paste that page in. Okay, you can also save the results as something else. Like if you wanted to save all of them as a text file and copy paste it, put it in the document, that is fine as well. Because you might, yeah, I'm just going to show you what it'll look like here. I'm just going to pick I'm just going to pick 5 just for fun. And what I'm going to say is send to clipboard. So now they're added to my clipboard. If I wanted to plug it into my Word document, oops, sorry. That's not what I was expecting. Where we go? Where's the browser? There we go. So we say send to clipboard. Let's try this one more time. Oh, so this doesn't let you copy and paste them. Never mind. Is there a different way to do this? Save. Okay, yeah, I can save this as a text. So you can just, so I selected 5. It says summary text here, create file. It's downloading this. I'm just going to put it in my download folder. Downloads, summary, seniors, and whatever. It saves it with the title. I can open that document now. Admit. And now, if you can see this document, it has the 5 articles that I have. This is, I'm pretending that I just got 5 articles. I can simply hit copy this and put this in my Word document. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. Now you have to remember that I only had 20 articles, so it was easy for me to copy and paste. Now, thank you, Artika. So, but some of you have had 200, 300 articles, and you can copy and paste the whole thing because you're not actually typing anything out. So even when you save it as a text or whatever, you can copy the whole set of results and pop it into the Word document. It'll take up many pages, but that is, it's all electronic. It's immaterial, right? So for each set of search terms, you'll have a result. So yeah, that's the expectation of that that particular exercise. I'm going to stop sharing this one and go back to my whiteboard. There we go. Oh, it made that disappear. Anyway, so again, we were talking about recording or presenting your search information. So that's how you'd present all the search results that you have, which will be anywhere from 10 pages to 15, 20 pages, but these are all copy and paste exercises. And finally, the process that you went through in the end, selecting the articles. Okay, so for that, again, it's going to be on a certain date. So there'll be a date on the page. All pages have to have dates, so we know when you did that work. Okay. Then the activity, as we said before, the activity is sorting/selecting articles they don't have to be in block letters. It's easier for me to print that way. So you don't have to put them in block letters. That because that's what we did to create our filter. We created the PICOS criteria. So what you can do just for fun is remind yourself and everybody what the PICOS criteria are, and they are in a document that I sent you in an email. So you put the PICOS out here, what the P stands for, how we defined the PICOS. And then you're going to describe the activity itself. So this is the title of the activity. And the actual activity is what you did. So this can be, you'd write it in a paragraph. We recovered a total of 273 articles from the search terms on our concept map, okay? After applying the PICOS criteria, you mentioned how many articles were eliminated. The first thing you might want to talk about is eliminating duplicates. So you might want to first start by saying, even before that, from the search terms on our concept map, how many duplicates were found. So X number of duplicates were found and duplicates were removed. So they removed. The remainder of the articles were subjected to PICOS, and then whatever A number of articles were kept or A number of articles were eliminated, leaving us with how many articles? Excuse me. Now, what you have to do now is, because you did actually go and apply PICOS to each of the articles looking at the title and the abstract, is the same pages that you copy and pasted with your searches before. You're just going to have to kind of, I don't know, do a highlight code or whatever of what articles were eliminated due to PICOS and duplicates. So maybe you can have a green highlight for duplicates and a red highlight for eliminated because it didn't meet the PICOS criteria. So you're just going to indicate to me how you selected those, okay? So that would be part of your selection process. And this may have occurred over several days. So make sure you have a different page for each day. Now, an activity may not have been completed in a day, and that's fine. You just end up providing a description. You may not have a results section completed at the bottom, okay? So that's pretty much what you have to do. I know even though you've done the work, just to organize it in this fashion might take you a few days. We are at the 25th today, and we still have about 11 days. I think it's more than sufficient time to do it, because it's just about putting everything you have together in a systematic, organized fashion. Any questions so far? Seems pretty clear. And you can work as a team because you've done all of this work as a team. I don't need 6 separate documents. 3 documents will work just fine. Again, you can distribute the work or work on a shared document, whichever way you choose. work together and get this done. Really, nobody should need an extension for this because we're not asking you to do anything new. It's just about making sure it's organized. You have 10 days. It can be done, okay, quite comfortably without any issues. Stop sharing. So we open the class up for questions. Okay. Artika?
So me and my partner, initially we didn't have enough articles
Yep.
that were approved, and so we both had different databases. So how would we go about putting together a search methodology when we started with one database and kind of went and used, then later on used two different databases?
In addition to that, like some of the articles that I was provided with then didn't meet the PICOS requirements, even though like they were sent to me to do the
It doesn't matter. I mean, articles can get sent to you. I'm not sifting through the articles. That's part of your job, right? So that's fine. If they get sent to you, they don't meet the PICOS criteria, you reject them. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. One of the things that you have to do is the selection, the sifting process has to be done sufficiently ahead of time. So you're not coming to me last minute and saying, hey, these don't meet the PICOS criteria. I don't know which ones meet the PICOS criteria. It's a search. You get a lot of search results, and I send things your way if you don't have enough articles, and then it's for the student to apply the PICOS criteria and see if they fit or they don't fit. Now, what I would say for now is, yes, you worked on a couple different databases, Artika. It is done on a day-by-day basis, so you can still record your activities per date. And yeah, when you switch from one database to the next, you just went on to a different database. So you just described that, well, we did our concept map on AgeLine. We got so many results. That part is done. We didn't have sufficient articles. So now we switched to, I don't know, did you do SciNet? Which one did you go to?
I think I used Trees and Momina, which was it Web of Science? But I have
Okay, but then here's what you will say, because you didn't actually go to Web of Science and find them. You're going to say your activity would be sorting of articles using the PICOS criteria that were sourced from a different search database.
Okay, so I put the date, so whatever date I used Web Science. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Because I sent you a bunch of articles. Now you can't from Trees and Momina's searches, they had extras, so we use those. So you just say that acquired these articles through Tree and Momina, and you just had to apply the PICOS and work through them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Now, some of you are very concerned that you don't have X number of articles. Initially, we thought 20, and 20 was a ballpark. It's not, I mean, I can't predict how many articles you'll find. That's not known to me. That's not known to you. We don't know. So we start, and some databases have a lot more articles that will fit the PICOS. So some of you have a dozen articles. Some of you have fewer articles. Some of you have 6, 7, 5 articles, whatever it is. I don't. That's what you have, and that's fine. It's okay. Just make sure that. So I've been looking at your annotated bibliographies. I've gone through all of them. I haven't decided what marks to assign based on the rubrics, but you should all have your mark by next Wednesday. I believe they should all be done. So you should have some marks and some feedback and everything on that. Yeah, I mean, mostly you've understood what it is to be done. So it's not like you're completely off the map or something. You follow the instructions that from Purdue's website, so it looks good. Now the next task after this, after the details of your searches, that's your assignment right now. That's what we're talking about. So that is due on the 8th. So again, no extensions will be needed because you've already done all the work. Okay, this is just about organizing, and you have 10 days to organize what you've done. So I'm not too concerned. We'll do it for the 8th. Sometime between now and the 8th, I would have finished your bibliographies. And what I will do is I will post a model SR that we can model the SR to be written on. And then each student will be assigned a section to craft. Now, the students crafting these sections will have access to all the selected articles. Okay, so each of you will probably end up with a total of, I would say, between 25 and 30 articles. Now, each of you, when you're crafting those, because you'll have a very specific task, it would help you to read the entire paper. You probably will have read many of them already as a process of your searching. But so, for example, if one of you has been asked to look at methodology, the focus is the methodology. You don't have to get into too much detail on everything else, but at least all the methodology, because you're summarizing what different techniques people have used. So that's what you'd write about. So probably a couple paragraphs. Couple of you, one of you may get the context or geographical location. So depending on what section you have, you can focus primarily on those sections in each of the papers and try to sum it up, and you have X number of words that you have to fit it in and so on. So each one of you will be writing a section using the findings of the entire class. It's not going to be a very large number, because even between the 6 of you or between the 3 groups, there will still be duplicates because we haven't even eliminated those. Okay, so you'll probably end up, the class will probably end up with, I would say, maximum 30, probably closer to 20 or 25. That's where I see it going. So that's going to be the next stage. Don't worry about the next stage now. Get this done first, sometime after the 8th, so that you're mentally free after submitting your next assignment. We'll talk very briefly about what section each student is going to write. Okay, questions?
Good to me.
Tree? All right.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Tree. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Ratika says, thank you. Momina says, same here. Very good. Everyone's clear. I'm glad about that. If you still have questions, ask. And again, even for this assignment, don't wait till the last minute, because you don't know what problem's going to come till it comes. And then if you've waited till the last minute, all of a sudden you're sending me an email, oops, I need an extension. I didn't know A, B, and C would happen. Well, yeah, they can happen, and nobody knows. Each person's case is unique, situation's unique, and so just try to do little pieces. So even if you have a problem, you catch it many days before your due date. Okay. Obviously, if anyone's ill, having health issues, just let me know. I don't have an issue with extensions. I just don't want to keep, giving extensions for no reason, make it a habit or whatever it is. Okay. All right. I've said enough, but if there are no questions, you're all free to leave.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
Very welcome. All right. Take care.